Hello and welcome back to Atala Insider. Thank you for joining me. It's been a couple of months since I've done one of these sessions, so it's really important to come back and find out what's been going on the Microsoft platform. There's been a lot of changes over the last few months, so we're not going to be able to cover all of them today. So I'm going to restart these sessions looking at the last 2 weeks worth. As usual, what we're going to do is have a look at message center items that have been on over the last 2 weeks. So we're going to look at incidents that have occurred in my own tenant over the last 2 weeks and any incidents that are currently outstanding. This gives us an idea of the stability of the platform and things that you may be receiving support tickets about or may have received support tickets about that are maybe not your problem. And then we'll go on to look at the roadmap. So we'll have a look at what Microsoft is currently developing, what they're rolling out, what's recently launched, and we'll go through and get an idea of what's upcoming. The importance of this is the fact that you can then be better to support your users. If you know what's going on the platform as a consultant or as a IT manager, then you can actually support your users when things change on a platform that you're not in control of. So really important. Okay, so let's get straight on with having a look at what's going on now. So we'll dive right into Message Center. So there is a lot to get through today, so I will rush through some of these because there's quite a few. So we've had 5 items, so we've got 5 current items in the Message Center, so 5 current incidents, and we'll rattle through these now. So the first item is search results may not return as expected in SharePoint Online. So if you're attempting to search your OneDrive for Business or SharePoint, you may not see results you're expecting. A limited number of users intermittently can't view email messages and Outlook on the web. So this is obviously Exchange Online. So that's the web client, not the desktop client there. At the moment, all users can't utilize the tags feature in Microsoft Teams desktop client. So if you are using tags, you might find that users can't actually tag their content at the moment. So you might want to make them aware of that situation, or maybe they are raising support tickets with you. That's been going on since the 20th, so 4 days so far, so that's been going on for a little while. Users in China can't play back live events in Microsoft Stream. And any user intermittently is unable to open non-Microsoft Office links. That's been going on since the 16th. So there might be some issues there, users opening documents. Bear in mind, this is my tenant, so your tenant may differ if you're on a different section of Office 365 to what I am. Okay, so closed incidents. These incidents that were closed within the last 2 weeks. Okay, so all users on affected infrastructure can't switch between the new and old YAML experience. That was an issue for about 7.5 hours on the 21st. So from the 18th, for a few hours, users were unable to make phone calls over the PSTN network from Skype for Business. So anyone using Skype for Business for a call center, that's potentially a major issue for you. Some users intermittently fail to join meetings. This is a false positive, so this wasn't actually an issue. All users can't sign into any Exchange Online protocols. So from the 16th, for just under an hour, you may find that users were unable to sign into Outlook or Outlook on the web. On the 15th, users experienced Outlook connection issues and crashes. So users may have experienced crashes or may have been unable to access Exchange Online via Outlook. All users may experience intermittent delays or navigation errors when accessing SharePoint site. That's a false positive, so that wasn't actually an issue. PDF preview not working for all Android users. So on the 14th, for a couple of hours, users may not have been able to see PDF previews in the Teams client. Some users are seeing delays when add member changes are made to Microsoft Teams using Microsoft Graph. So that was, again, 4 hours, 4 hours 45 there. Oh no, I apologise, that was 4 days, so that might have been a problem. Any user can't access Outlook on the web. So on the 13th, for most of the day, Outlook on the web may have not been working. Any admin can't create call queues in the Microsoft Teams Admin Center. This is an issue for 5 days, so you may have experienced that. Moderated email messages are failing to deliver to distribution groups. That was about a day. All admins are unable to view usage reports after Sunday, July the 5th, 2020. This is across the whole Microsoft 365 suite, so you may have some issues with your usage reports at the moment. Exchange, all admins can't view multiple reports with new data via the Security and Compliance Center. That was an issue for a couple of days on the 8th to the 10th of July. Admins are unable to migrate mailboxes to the Exchange Online service. I think Exchange has obviously been going through quite substantial work recently, so mailbox migrations may have been failing. That was the 7th to the 11th of July. More Exchange Online. Any admin unable to use communication compliance policies from the Security and Compliance Centre. That was the 6th to the 17th, so 10 days. On-premises users leveraging hybrid modern authentication can't sync with Outlook for iOS or Android. Okay, so there are all the issues we've had over the last 2 weeks. So what we're going to do now is we'll jump on to into the roadmap, and we'll have a look at what's currently going on the platform. Like I say, there is quite a few to get through here, so we'll try and get through them quick. We've got 5 cancelled items, 49 items have completed their rollout, 34 items have gone into the rolling out phase, and 72 have entered an in development phase. So there's a lot of work going on at the moment, so we need to just get through these as quick as possible. Just get my right screen, there we go. So cancelled items, normally these are cancelled either because there's no interest in them, it's technically not possible, or sometimes they just merge into a different feature update. So we'll have a look at what's been cancelled in the last 2 weeks and why. So new mobile app features, this is around Microsoft Stream, so use channels and groups to help manage your videos and interact with forms, quizzes, in-stream videos, all directly from your mobile device. That has been cancelled. I wonder if that's been rolled into other updates. Okay, Microsoft Teams, manage discovery of private teams. This is, it looks like it's, across all tenants, GCC, DoD, Education and Standard. So customer feedback has indicated that discoverability of private teams was not desirable. As a result, this feature is cancelled. It's an interesting one actually. I have this conversation a lot with SharePoint Evolved when people want to potentially have a directory of sites they don't have access to, so they can request access to sites if they feel they should have access. I guess it was a similar feature. Then that raises some concerns over some confidential sites that you don't want people to find, so I guess that's why this has been pulled. Okay, so what else is cancelled? Tenant-specific mailbox for sharing comms. This feature is cancelled. Today, all tenants... So what was this feature? Today, all tenants share a common no-reply at SharePointOnline.com domain for various email communication scenarios. With this update, we will segregate tenant emails by domain, removing the risk of emails being sorted into junk folders or segregating spam scores. Now, these emails will come from tenant-specific mailboxes like no-reply@contoso.microsoft.com. This will not impact emails that are sent on behalf of a user's mailbox like file sharing, page promotion, email comments or app mentions. Okay, so that's cancelled. That's a shame. I think that would be quite useful actually. I would personally prefer to have a vanity URL for those notifications. Outlook for Android, visual cues for work and personal account. So this item is no longer being made available. This was going to provide clear visual cues across email and calendar experience when the writing in the English on some of these is terrible. When either your work or personal accounts, when in either of your work or personal accounts, so that email and events are always created from the create account. That's not happening now. And Outlook for Android, time zone support. So Outlook for Android is not getting time zone support, apparently. Interesting. Okay, so these launched items, these are the items that have completed their rollout and should now be available in all Office 365 tenants across the whole platform. So we've got 49 of these things that have finished their rollout. So let's have a look at what we've got here. First up, Microsoft Graph. Profile card customization through Microsoft Graph Beta. So profile card, what we'll actually be able to do in Microsoft Graph Beta will let you add custom information to a person's profile card. That's good. Integrate with Azure Sentinel to define custom retention times for your discovery data. Funny enough, I was having a conversation about Azure Sentinel just last night. It's another one on the big data platforms for kind of sucking in content from connected data sources. So Microsoft Cloud App Security has a strict data retention policy and only keeps cloud discovery data for 90 days. By integrating with Azure Sentinel, organizations can now leverage their discovery data within Azure Sentinel to define custom, longer retention times, and this gives admins more flexibility to run queries and visualize data over time directly with Azure Sentinel. And this is a public preview. Now, one thing that's very interesting here, it is a fairly costly service. Obviously, that's always subjective depending on your idea of value on these things. But interestingly enough, if you are pulling in Office 365 data, then it is free to use. So that might be worth looking at. Okay, Google Cloud Platform Connector for Microsoft Cloud App Security. So when a customer's bad English again. Microsoft will provide visibility into discovered resources such as resource type, traffic, upload, users and network. They also add in GCP into existing security configuration assessment that they provide for AWS and Azure. Microsoft Cloud App Security and Microsoft Defender ATP integration to block access to unsanctioned apps from endpoints. So this integration will allow admins to automatically block access to unsanctioned apps from client devices using Microsoft Defender. I know a lot of companies who will find that very useful. Visio single sign-on enabled for the Visio Data Visualizer add-in for Excel. Visio Data Visualizer add-in for Excel now available in multiple languages. Visio download as image in Visio for the web. I love Visio for the web, fantastic tool. Access to Data Visualizer, add in templates in Excel's Backstage view. Visio's been getting some love lately by the sounds of it. Customize search results for your organization. This is across Microsoft Search. So support for custom result pages and web parts in Microsoft Search allow you to create a new custom search results page in SharePoint. It also allows you to use web parts developed using SharePoint Framework to extend search queries. I think with sites being spanned across multiple modern sites, now search is becoming more and more important to bring content together from different sites and sources than we may be used to see. Visio again, improvements to Visio for the web when working on multiple pages. Microsoft 365 First Line Worker, audit logs in Shifts. So Shifts audit logs are provided in the centralized Office 365 Security and Compliance Center in alignment with Office 365 customer promises and to support our customers' needs. Marketing got on the end of that one. Safe links for Office Online. So safe links in Office 365 Advanced Threat Protection has been protecting your links and Office clients on Windows, Mac, iOS and Android. Now Microsoft are extending this protection to Office Online. When a user clicks a link in Word, Excel, PowerPoint or OneNote in Office Online, Advanced Threat Protection will inspect the link to see if it is malicious, and if the link is malicious, the user will be redirected to a warning page instead of the original target URL. Happy to see that come in. Outlook for iOS, optional attendees. So in Outlook for iOS, you'll be able to add optional attendees into your meetings. Authenticated received chain is now enabled for Office 365 hosted mailboxes. I have no idea what that is. Let's read this. All hosted mailboxes in Office 365 will now gain the benefit of ARC with improved deliverability of messages and enhanced anti-spoofing detection. ARC preserves the email authentication results from all participating intermediaries or hops when an email is routed from the originating server to the recipient mailbox. There you go. Microsoft Teams meeting attendee limit increases to 300 participants for GCC, GCC High and DoD. And Microsoft also expects, that's finished now, so that increased in June. Azure Active Directory, enabling basic formatting on the sign-in page text component in company branding. So today, that's a pretty useless word to use there. The sign-in page text component of company branding only supports plain text. Microsoft has now updated the company branding functionality feature on Azure AD 365 login to allow adding hyperlinks and simple formatting like bold, underline and italics. Good, more flexibility we get in the long-on pages. Good for companies to maintain their branding. SharePoint Admin is getting a modern term store, so this should now be visible across all of the tenants in SharePoint. So use the updated term store to create and manage terms and term sets in SharePoint to enter data consistently. The new experience within the SharePoint Admin Center makes it easier to manage your company's taxonomy and content types. More information at this link. I haven't seen this yet, but you can be sure I'll be checking this out after this recording. Longer term retention on audit logs, so log retention for up to 1 year to meet investigation requirements and customize retention policies per an organization's requirements. Wow, I bet that's brought some big data to Microsoft. Process audit insights in advanced audit. So insights and correlations that signal key patterns help identify quick answers to typical queries during investigations. Advanced e-discovery. New feature to bulk import custodians to a case. Advanced e-discovery. Non-custodial data sources. So Microsoft are launching a new feature that lets e-discovery admins add data sources to a case and place them on hold without having to associate a data source with a custodian. This provides more flexibility in situations where a data source, such as SharePoint site, doesn't map directly to a specific custodian. And when you add a data source to a case, it is indexed and can be quickly searched when collecting data for a case. Microsoft Graph Sites lists webhooks v1.0 GA. This is an update which has definitely been written by a dev or a techie. So there's ability to subscribe for change notifications on list elements in SharePoint. Same ability to manage the list of followed sites for a user using Microsoft Graph. Microsoft Graph ability to follow and unfollow individual files via the Graph API. Communication compliance. Automatically monitor all teams a user is a member of. So new communication compliance policies will now automatically monitor all teams a user is a member of. An administrator will no longer need to keep track of users' teams membership. Analyze Teams chat data of users with on-premises mailbox. So some extensions for Exchange Hybrid there. Microsoft Teams meetings, background effects and policy administration for GCC, GCC High and DoD tenants. Workday connector for Microsoft Cloud App Security. So the new connector for Workday and the external service provides greater visibility and control via Microsoft's Cloud Access Security Broker by giving you the ability to monitor users and activities. Updated feature, reset password in the Microsoft 365 Admin Center. So Microsoft are updating the reset password so it supports a 256 character maximum password length. Interesting. Interesting that the password changes are going on when I thought we were moving more towards a passwordless way of working. But it's good, always good to see the ability to have more security in there. Obviously, the longer your password, the harder it is to brute force. Microsoft Planner, copy a plan within an existing group or team. Outlook for iOS, search results presented in a tabbed view. So keyword search results presented across all mail, contacts and events tabs. Outlook for Android, top results. So the best 3 results from your keyword search is presented at the top of search in Outlook in addition to results in chronological order. Okay, interesting update. Don't we normally get the 3 best results at the top of a search anyway? Okay, it'll be interesting to see how that actually shows itself. Same for Outlook for iOS, top results. Outlook for Android, suggested people and actionable search answers. So searching for something specific about a contact will provide an actionable result such as John's phone number. Search for a specific contact will use Microsoft Search Services to provide relevant results rather than keywords from information from your email and calendar. Outlook for Android, visual cues for work and personal account. So it's interesting, this actually is in cancelled, so interesting it's shown up here. That is actually not happening now. Integrated apps in the Microsoft 365 Admin Center settings page is being changed to user consent to apps. So Microsoft's changing the name for integrated apps to user consent to apps. Hopefully that makes it more clear. Office 365 groups are being renamed to Microsoft 365 groups. Okay, big rebranding going on here. Office 365 is obviously, as a term, is being phased out to Microsoft 365 across the board. Office, what's new management card available for Microsoft 365 Admin Center? So global or Office apps administrators can select which new items to display in their end users' Office desktop applications, and the what's new section of help. Microsoft Graph Calendar Event Sync Delta Query Update is in beta. So currently Calendar supports Delta on getcalendarview.sint and getcalendarview does a server-side expansion. The team are making better performant sync on events to be available on MS Graph endpoint. Do you know what? I take it back. I kind of joke when Microsoft Marketing gets hold of these updates. I think for the Graph team, you need to engage Microsoft Marketing a bit more. Microsoft Teams support for Ignite as a cloud storage provider. Azure AD My Account End User Portal. So the Azure AD My Account portal, previously known as the profile page, serves as a one-stop shop for all self-service profile management needs, including registering security contact info, managing devices, changing passwords, and reviewing privacy data. I'm happy to see this. I get a bit frustrated going to different places to manage different parts of my account and my profile, so it'd be nice to see all that come together in one place. Okay, so combining services and add-ins, security and privacy, and organizational profile on a single page in Microsoft 365 Admin Center. New Microsoft 365 Admin Center experience available in ITAR Cloud. The new Microsoft 365 Admin Center experience is rolling out soon to GCC High and DoD clouds. Intune role management is coming to Microsoft 365 Admin Center. So you'll be able to assign roles, compare roles, and search for roles. Microsoft Teams, third-party single sign-on for apps and Teams. So end users will now be able to enjoy the benefits of Azure Active Directory single sign-on for supported Teams apps on both desktop and mobile. After they're signed into Teams, users won't have to sign in again on apps that integrate with single sign-on for both desktop and mobile. Microsoft recently launched new Outlook on the web experience for worldwide customers. This release is for customers Gallatin. Outlook on the web, send letter. Outlook is adding the option to schedule when you want to send an email message. Outlook on the web, send later. So Outlook is adding the option to schedule when you want to send an email message. Microsoft Information Protection, Exact Data Match will support data files containing up to 100 million rows. Sorry, I lost my mouse. Okay, and that's it for the launched events. So we're going to the rolling out. So what items are currently rolling out at the moment? Microsoft Planner, copy a plan within an existing group or teams. You will be able to select an existing group or team that you'd like to copy an existing plan into. You will also be able to select what should be copied over from the original plan. Microsoft Teams meeting attendee limit increases to 300 participants for GCC, GCC High and DoD. That will be coming soon. Poll added to Outlook. So new polling adding will soon be pre-released in Outlook for Windows by default, meaning end users will no longer need to install the Quick Poll add-in from the store. Forms, Quick Poll add-in pre-installed in Outlook. Yeah. Same as what we just said. Microsoft Teams, new policy to prevent upload of profile picture for GCC customers. Communication compliance, automatically monitor all teams a user is a member of. Analyze Teams chat data of users with on-premises mailbox. Okay, so some of these are duplicated here actually. So SharePoint listen libraries, new calendar picker. So SharePoint's getting the Office Fabric calendar rather than the old calendar. That'd be nice. Microsoft Teams contextual search. So find information faster with contextual search in Microsoft Teams. Users will now have the ability to search for content in a specific channel or chat by pressing Ctrl F. Search results will only contain messages and files found in the selected chat or channel. SharePoint List and Libraries, save a view in Quick Edit. So people will be able to save their view in Quick Edit for any list or document library in SharePoint and Microsoft 365. When a person saves a view in Quick Edit, the list or library will always render in Quick Edit for easy inline editing. That'd be very welcome. Looking forward to seeing that one. SharePoint List and Libraries, Quick Edit, page size expanding from 30 items to 101. Power BI, pivot tables from Power BI datasets. You can create pivot tables in Excel that are connected to datasets stored in Power BI with a few clicks. Doing this allows you to get the best of both pivot tables and Power BI. Yammer Mobile, filtering community content for questions. So when using the mobile client, Yammer users will be able to filter community content to see all questions and unanswered questions while on mobile. Office 365 Advanced Message Encryption for government clouds. Advanced Threat Protection Mail Flow Status Summary Report. So Microsoft are working on a way for you to see how much mail was caught by various layers of their filtering stack. This report will allow customers to see how messages pass through the different layers of protection that are offered. Office 365 Advanced Threat Protection Mail Latency Summary Report. So Microsoft are adding a report that will show the time it takes for messages to traverse the full filtering stack, including detonations. Advanced Threat Protection Quarantine Filtering. So admins will soon be able to filter the quarantine by policy type or policy name, showing just the items quarantined by each policy. Yammer changed default community post to a question. Community admins will be able to change the default post type for their community to be a question. Outlook for iOS actionable calendar search answers. We've kind of covered that already. Outlook for Windows signature cloud settings. So your signature settings are stored in the cloud, so your experience is consistent when you access Outlook for Windows on any computer. That would be welcome. I know my marketing department gets very frustrated when I have different signatures on different devices. Outlook for iOS, block unmanaged data in emails and calendar events. Outlook for Android, same thing. Microsoft Teams, raise hands in Teams meetings for GCC. This is a great feature. We use this quite a lot. So if you're having a conversation with lots of people, the ability to do a hand raise is useful. So that's now coming to government tenants. Default site theme color is changing from blue to teal in SharePoint. So SharePoint's new teal theme will automatically update new and existing communication sites and team sites. Group connected team sites and sites that have been customized will not be impacted. Moving forward, new sites will automatically default to the new teal theme. So this is one of the things you have. If your users are used to seeing blue, then at some point that will just change to teal unless you've set your theme. So you might want to communicate this out to users so they're not surprised when something changes from one day to the next. Microsoft Edge Storage Access API. So the Storage Access API allows access to first-party storage in a third-party context when a user has provided a direct intent to allow storage that would otherwise be blocked by the browser's current configuration. Or for the developers there. Microsoft Edge. Send to OneNote is now available for Edge collections. I really like collections in Edge. Actually, I've been using that quite a lot when I group together different projects. I can have groups of favorites in one collection. It's really useful. Microsoft Edge policies to allow admins to choose which file types to automatically open after downloading. Useful. Microsoft Edge group policy support for trusting site and application combos to launch without a confirmation prompt. Got in there. Microsoft Edge policy to allow admins to choose which file types are exempt from file type security warnings. Microsoft Edge preview version of Enterprise Site List Manager for Internet Explorer mode. Azure Active Directory inbound provisioning from SAP SuccessFactors to Azure AD. Microsoft Information Protection, double key encryption. So double key encryption from Microsoft allows you to protect your highly sensitive data while maintaining full control of your key. You can protect your data with two keys, your Azure key and your key in the double key encryption service. Outlook on the web, option to end meetings early. So similar to Outlook for Windows, Microsoft are adding the option to have the meetings you create end 0 to 15 minutes before the regular scheduled times. And you can set this up in settings /calendar/events and invitation to end appointments and meetings earlier. Outlook on the web, option to create all meetings online. So when you create a meeting and you use Teams or Skype for Business as your online meeting provider, you can set Outlook to automatically create all your meetings as an online meeting. That could be useful. Most of my meetings are online meetings now, so that could be a useful feature. Maybe if you have a shared calendar that is always like a training calendar, that would be useful. Okay, so that is everything that we currently have launched, everything that is in the process of rolling out. Now we have a few items that have gone into development. Based on what we've just seen for rolling out, I'm expecting to see a lot of Microsoft Edge stuff in there. I haven't been through these yet today, so let's go in and have a look what Microsoft is currently working on. So these are the things that you can sell to your users a little bit further out, so maybe in 3 months, 6 months, or even a year, or maybe these don't even come to fruition. So it's the kind of longer term view just to prepare you of what might be coming later on. So if we jump back in here and we go to in development, 72. So I'm going to go through these pretty quick because we are running about half an hour at the moment. So we'll go through these quick just for awareness, and we'll spend more time on these as we go forward. Okay, so Outlook for iOS, option to reply with your availability or an event invitation. So quickly reply to an email message by selecting a suggested reply, such as schedule a meeting or send your availability for preferred time to meet. That I think will be really useful. I look forward to that one. Microsoft Teams Together Mode. So Together Mode uses of AI segmentation. The option with that. Together Mode uses AI segmentation technology in meetings to digitally place participants in a shared background, making it feel like you're sitting in the same room with everyone else. Yeah, I've seen some stuff on this. This looks really interesting, actually. You basically mock up like a meeting scenario, and everyone's background is adjusted to make it look like you're in the same meeting room. It could be quite interesting. It could help engagement in meetings, I think. So Microsoft Teams Dynamic View. Dynamic View uses AI in meetings to dynamically optimize shared content and video participants. New controls let you personalize the view to suit your preferences and needs, such as the ability to show shared content and specific participants side by side. That could be useful then, so if I understand that right, that would let a presenter share their screen and also their video. So yeah, that's good. Or maybe a whiteboard and a presentation side by side. Yeah, that's cool. Microsoft Teams video filters. Before joining a meeting, you can use the filters to subtly adjust lighting levels and soften the focus of the camera to customize your appearance. Oh dear Lord, no. Okay, so right, Instagram filters are coming to Microsoft Teams. People, get ready for soft focus, skin blur, and all that rubbish. Yeah, I'm not keen on that. Lighting levels, yeah, I'm okay with that, but okay, Microsoft Teams Reflect Messaging extension. So this gives managers, leaders, or teachers an easy way to check in with how their team or students are feeling, either in general or about a specific topic like work-life balance, the status of a project, current events, or a change within the organisation. IT administrators will be able to install the Reflect extension from GitHub and then make it available to employees in their organisations in the message extension menu. Wow, interesting. So if anybody was part of the Cloud 365 conference recently, then you will know that I built a COVID-19 application on the Power Platform, and one of the items there was actually a how are you feeling card that went out on Teams. So interesting, it's good to kind of get an understanding of how people may be feeling across the board, but I would just be a little bit aware with the data protection and the information you're collecting on people's mental health and well-being. It's good to support your users, but we just need to make sure that data is used responsibly. I guess information on, getting reflections on projects could be useful and current events and things like that. But it does scare me a little bit on the use of some of this data, so we'll see how that comes about. Let's see if that keeps going. Okay, number 6, Microsoft Teams live reactions. So react during a meeting using emojis that will appear to all participants. I'll hold my thoughts on that for now. PowerPoint live presentations to Teams. So PowerPoint live presentations can assist users in making their presentations engaging and inclusive. Everyone in the audience can navigate their view of the slides, provide instant feedback in the form of live reactions, and provide comments and rate the presentation at the end. I like some of those features. I'm not really that keen on users being able to navigate through the slides of their own accord. If you are doing a PowerPoint presentation, then you probably want to be talking the user through the slides as you're discussing that topic. I like the idea of live reactions, comments and ratings at the end as well. I think that could be useful. Microsoft Teams is getting chat bubbles. So chats sent during a Teams meeting will surface on the screens of all meeting participants, making the chat more central to the conversation. I like that idea. That's a neat idea, actually. Live captions with speaker attribution. So Teams already provides live captions as a way to follow along with what's being said in the meeting, and Microsoft is now also adding speaker attribution, so captions will specify who is speaking. Yeah, that would be useful. Large meeting support. So hold interactive meetings with more attendees, up to 1,000. That's going to be very useful for a lot of people. Microsoft Teams overflow meetings, so when attendees exceed the meeting attendee limit, the meeting will scale to accommodate up to 20,000 in an experience where they can watch. So some of the interactive elements will be taken off that. Microsoft Whiteboard updates, so Whiteboard in Teams will soon be updated with new features including sticky notes, pen and ink, and drag and drop capabilities. These features enable team members who don't have access to touchscreen, Surface or Hub, touchscreen or Surface Hub to participate in whiteboarding sessions during Teams meetings. Yeah, I like that. Whiteboard's great, so I think that'll be some useful updates. Microsoft Teams suggested replies. I'm still not sold on suggested replies. I don't know. I don't use them very often. I think it's obvious when someone does a suggested reply. See how they. I'd be interested in them if people do use them and do like them. Okay, Room Remote for Microsoft Teams Room and Collaboration Bar. So this experience in Teams Mobile will provide meeting device controls such as the ability to join and leave the meeting, mute and unmute the room, adjust audio volume and turn cameras on and off. Microsoft Teams, support for Cortana voice assistant on Microsoft Teams Room devices. Wirelessly cast to Teams devices, wirelessly cast to any Teams Room, Collaboration Bar or Surface Hub device, enabling seamless ad hoc in-person collaboration. Yeah, I think that'd be useful. Coordinated meetings with Microsoft Teams Room and Surface Hub. Okay, so Teams and meetings are getting a lot of love. Proximity join on Surface Hub. So allow users to join a meeting on a Surface Hub using their own personal device. Proximity join will allow users to add a Surface Hub as a resource to their scheduled meeting. Meeting room capacity notifications for Microsoft Teams Room. Live transcription with speaker attribution. Yeah, we've just seen that. Cortana and Teams. So Cortana is coming to the Teams mobile app using AI in the Microsoft Graph to provide voice assistance in Teams. Teams again. The Teams team and Microsoft are busy. Change notification API for Microsoft Teams messages. Developers will have the ability to subscribe to change notifications for Microsoft Teams messages, including channel messages, one-to-one group chats, and all messages in a tenant. NDI for Teams. So NDI for Microsoft Teams converts meetings participants' video into a discrete source that can be used in the production tools for professional broadcasts. Interesting. It'd be interesting to find out more information on that. People gallery and modern presence. Easily see who is collaborating on your Visio diagram and where they are in the drawing. Yeah, kind of common across Office Online there, so that's useful. Visio, while you were away and catch up highlights. So know who edited your shared document since your last visit and see what's changed. That definitely would be useful. Microsoft Forms, new Office 365 header. So Microsoft Forms will now have a familiar look to the other Office 365 family of apps. AIP scanner for on-premises available for DoD. Excuse me. I promise I'm not yawning because I'm bored of my own content. I'm just long morning. AIP unified labeling client for Windows available for government clouds. SharePoint, caching SharePoint online videos on Azure Content Delivery on Azure CDN to improve video playback and reliability. That'll be good. So any videos stored in SharePoint and OneDrive sites will have cached on the CDN, so it'll be better. Yeah, I like that. That's good. Improve sync warning for locked Office files. So new warning experience in OneDrive Sync app when there are local changes to an Office file that cannot be uploaded because someone else has a document open. Microsoft 365 Compliance Center. Remove a Teams message from the Teams chat or channel. Read receipts in GCC, Hi and DoD in Microsoft Teams. We've seen this in standard already, so that's really useful. Bookings. You can clone or you will be able to clone an existing bookings calendar. Bookings as well, add an attachment to notification emails. Bookings updates the staff roles. Bookings CC functionality to email notifications. Same thing, updated user experience for bookings, so an updated design and enhanced user experience for viewing main components of the web app and create a more connected experience. I haven't used Microsoft Bookings myself, so I should have a little play with that, I think. SharePoint Portal Launch Wizard in SharePoint PowerShell. So the Portal Launch Wizard available via SharePoint PowerShell is designed to configure the deployment waves when launching a new site. It also provides an automatic redirect for users dependent on which redirect option is selected. Don't really understand what that means, so I'll have a little look into that one. Yammer, change a regular conversation post into a question. Yeah, sounds useful. Microsoft Teams, multiple number dialing. So Teams now supports dialing additional numbers for a given user. A new split button in the chat header for audio video calling displays multiple numbers for a single contact as available numbers with which to initiate a call. SharePoint, site performance page for site owners and editors. So the site performance page will be available for the site homepage under site settings. It will display results from the page diagnostics for SharePoint tool, and the information will be available within SharePoint. Microsoft Teams for RealWare. So first line workers using RealWare HMT1, HMTIZ1 can now collaborate with a remote expert using video calling on Teams. That means nothing to me. Hopefully that means something to other people. Outlook for Android, two-way synchronization with local calendar. Microsoft Teams, spell checker added for Teams desktop client on GCC Hi and DoD clouds. Microsoft Teams, 3x3 video on collaboration bar. So be able to view 9 video streams simultaneously. It will definitely be welcome. I think Teams has lost a bit of way to things like Zoom on that fact alone, so it'd be nice to see that capability coming back in. Microsoft Teams 1080p resolution, outgoing video on collaboration bar. I'm very, very happy to see this because I do get frustrated with the low quality of video in Teams compared to other tools. I know it was temporarily dropped during the current lockdown because of the increased number of people using it, so it'd be nice to see that resolution come back up to a higher level. Microsoft Teams, dual front of room screen support on collaboration bar. Microsoft Teams, center of room meeting console support on collaboration bar. Microsoft Teams, raise hands on collaboration bar. Then video from collaboration bar. Consume and control structured meeting role support and roster controls from collaboration bar. Control live captions from collaboration bar. A lot of updates going in. Wired HDMI support on collaboration bar. Personal mode on collaboration bar. So every time I say collaboration bar now, you have to do a push-up. That's the challenge. Office 365 Advanced Threat Protection Configuration Analyzer. Typical, we've moved on from collaboration bar as soon as I set that challenge. Configuration Analyzer will be a place for you to compare your policies settings against the recommended settings for EOP and Office 365 ATP security. We're getting there, people. We are 45 minutes in about, so we're getting there. We're near the end. Okay, Microsoft Information Protection support for double byte character set languages. That's got into preview. Microsoft Teams displays for a new category of all-in-one dedicated Teams devices that features an ambient touchscreen and hands-free experience powered by Cortana. These devices seamlessly integrate with your PC, providing easy access to Teams chat, meetings, calling calendars and files. With natural language, users can ask Cortana to join and present in meetings, dictate replies to Teams chat, and more. I'm looking into this actually. We have a bunch of video phones on the desk that we don't typically use, so I'm hoping I can actually tie into some of those GrandStream devices for these Teams displays. I'm going to assume probably not. Yammer, upvote answers to Yammer questions. So the feature will allow people to upvote answers that they find useful and appropriate. I think that'd be a very useful feature. Yammer adding ability to mute communities at admin and user levels. Yammer embed feed updated with new look and new functionality. So when you embed Yammer into other sites, it's going to have a new look, which would be good. Yammer collapsed pinned posts on live event page. When viewing a pinned post in an event page, the conversation will be collapsed by default to all for new comments in the event feed to be displayed. SharePoint, share a page to Yammer. Now, see, Microsoft has said that Yammer's back in a big way, so maybe the investment we've been waiting for is coming or is happening now. This would be good. Microsoft Information Protection, double key encryption. We've discussed this previously just before. So double key encryption from Microsoft allows you to protect your highly sensitive data while maintaining full control of your key. You can protect your data with two keys, your Azure key and your key in the double key encryption service. Basically, you can bring your own encryption keys into the service and have it, essentially double encrypted. Or both keys combined to generate a unique key, maybe. Microsoft DataFlex in Teams. I was going to do an update on this. I'll save this for another video, but we'll just kind of read what's going on. So this has been announced recently. So select Microsoft 365 and Office 365 subscriptions that include Power Apps and Power Automate are expanding with the introduction of Microsoft DataFlex, a built-in flexible data store supporting relational, image and file data with a one-click experience for deploying solutions natively in Teams. With DataFlex, Power Apps capabilities included in select Microsoft 365 licenses will expand to provide an integrated App Studio for users to build and deploy custom apps within Teams. Similarly, Power Virtual Agent capabilities are being introduced to Teams, and users will now be able to build and deploy custom chatbots in DataFlex environments directly within Teams. New Power Automate capabilities will also be available in Teams, including the ability to trigger flows directly from Teams messages. I think we're already starting to see some of these coming out. DataFlex is interesting. Basically what this means is that we can actually go and build Power Apps directly in Teams, I believe, and DataFlex gives a data storage capability, so not SharePoint, I don't think it's CDS, I'll have to check whether it's part of the common data store. But it's just given an underlying data source that can be used for Teams-based applications. I really like the ability to trigger flows from Teams messages as well. That's pretty cool. We might do a full session on that another time. Microsoft Teams Call Merge. So Call Merge gives end users the capability to merge their active, unheld one-to-one call into another one-to-one call or another group call. SharePoint. Download SharePoint site usage data in Excel. So SharePoint site owners and members will be able to download their site's 90-day usage data in an Excel report directly from the site usage report page. Teams. Updated functionality for downloading participant records in Teams meetings. So meeting organisers, especially teachers and event organisers, often need to know who joined and how many people joined their Teams meetings. With new enhancements, Microsoft will allow us to download the report after the meeting within the meeting chat. They've also added new data to the report, allows us to better manage the attendance. This will be useful. So I've had a couple of solutions recently that have looked at things like meeting requests, so requesting a meeting, being added to a meeting for training purposes maybe. What this might allow us to do, hopefully there's an API to it, because then we could actually see who did attend that training rather than just who's registered for it. And then if anybody didn't attend it, then we can actually go and invite them to a future event. That would be really useful. So I look forward to seeing that. Okay, nearly last four. Microsoft Graph, new privacy controls for Microsoft Graph-based insights for administrators who wish to enable granular control over where intelligent insights are available to their employees. Microsoft are introducing new controls that provide us the ability to configure the visibility of graph-derived insights between users and other items in the graph, such as documents and sites. Microsoft Teams, new meeting lobby configuration setting available for PowerShell and Teams Admin Center. Microsoft Teams, Power Apps for Teams for GCC High. So you will now be able to make and pin apps within Teams using Power Apps and GCC High. Last two, Office 365 Advanced Threat Protection, improvements to threat hunting with Threat Explorer in real-time detections. And lastly, Office 365 Advanced Threat Protection extended capabilities in Threat Explorer. So as part of this work, Microsoft will be extending the top targeted users to phish and email, and will also have the ability to export the list of top targeted users across each view from offline analysis. So there we have it. That is everything that is currently going on over the last 2 weeks, all the updates to the roadmap. I apologise as I've been off for the last couple of months. It's been a rather challenging time, very busy, but you can rest assured I will be back with these sessions now on a weekly basis. So every Friday I'll be publishing these updates, so hopefully we can keep the meetings to half an hour or under, and that would be useful for everyone. But I hope that gives you a good insight as to what's currently going on the platform, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Thank you for joining me.